Hey, what's up? So I figured I'll record this since I couldn't get you on the phone and you asked me to tell you a little bit about how to invest in the stock market. I should just first start off by saying I'm not a financial advisor, and the only thing I can do is really educate you. I can't tell you what to buy, what not to buy. I can't really give you any financial advice per se, but I can maybe guide you into what it means to invest in the stock market and so on. And so I would start off by saying buying stocks, what you're doing is you're buying a portion of a company. So you're buying and selling companies. And what you want to do when deciding which companies to buy is to see what they're worth. And the way you do that is you look at the financials of the company. You look at how much they make versus how much profit they have on what they bring in, and then you look at how much debt they have, what other obligations they have, how much liabilities they have. You can look at how much they have in assets, like if they have equipment, if they have property. And for example, McDonald's owns every one of the properties that their buildings are on. So that would go into the value of the company because they own the properties, and then the businesses that are on those properties are producing cash flow as well. So you can also look at a trucking company, for example, if they have tangible assets. If you take a manufacturing company like Tesla, for example, they have these factories that are producing the products that they sell, but they also have their own specific value. So I think that's a good way to start off, looking at what are the core, what's the down to the basic the basic value of the company. You want to look at what they own, how much money they bring in, whether it's annually, quarterly, every 3 months, or if they're some companies report every month, or they pay out every month and still report quarterly. But there's so that's basically the fundamentals of what you want to look at in a company. You want to take a look at how they're doing. So you want to get a full breakdown of their financials, and you can do that on apps like Robinhood. You can go on the company website, and you can look at their own reports. You can also listen to their earnings calls. For me, I think it's a little bit annoying to listen to earnings calls because they're just very lengthy, and most of that information can be summarized on 1 or 2 pages on a website, or in a PDF, which you can find those online, and I can send you links on how to do that. Another thing I would suggest is taking out a book like Investing in the Stock Market for Dummies, something like that. Go to Barnes and Nobles, because I would say instead of like just going on Amazon and finding a book, go into the store, flip open the pages, see which book speaks to you the most, see what you feel like is most fluid with your style of learning, and then go based off of that. Another thing I would suggest is download Yahoo Finance and pick 5 stocks that you think are interesting. Pick 5 companies. Let's say you're, whatever it may be, and then put them. They have something called a watch list where you get updates on those companies. So you don't have to necessarily buy anything in those companies, buy any of those stocks, but you can start by just putting yourself in the mindset of an investor that's following the market. And the good thing about it is that it will alert you every time there is news about that company. It will give you some information about what the company is doing. If they make an announcement that they're coming out with a new product, or if there's a bankruptcy, or if there's anything going on in the market, follow the S&P 500. I would say is a good index to follow. An index is basically it's a vehicle that invests in multiple companies, and then the value of that vehicle, which is a stock, which is the index itself, and listed on the stock market as a stock, is multiple companies and diversified among those companies. That's another segment which I can go into later, what exactly an index is. But following the indexes is an overview of the market, and then following specific companies would be an overview of that company. So I think in a combination of following a few companies, just find some interesting companies that you think are like Apple or whatever, something popular, something that you relate to, and then follow NASDAQ, the S&P 500, and the Russell 2000. At the top of the page on Yahoo Finance, you'll see that there, and that'll be a good basic way to start. There are other apps I can suggest. To get started in investing. I think Robinhood is very simple. If you have the Square Cash app, that's another one that's very simple. In the beginning, you want to do it as simply as possible. And I think that's the way to go. There's a world of knowledge out there on technical analysis and day trading, swing trading, all these different ways that you can invest. You can also buy options, which are contracts to sell stocks. So there's a whole other book on options. But I think the best way to start would be to research just find a couple of companies you're interested in that seem interesting to you already, and then read about those companies. It's going to be easier for you to do research and analysis if you are genuinely interested in the topic. So, for example, I personally know nothing about oil, okay? So I don't invest in oil companies, but I know a lot about technology and I love technology. So I like companies and I invest in companies like Apple, like Tesla, like Virgin Galactic. They're building out spaceship companies and so on. So for me, those are companies that I gravitate to. I also was a real estate agent for 3 years. And my father's a real estate investor, so I understand the world of real estate investing. So for me, it makes sense to invest in companies like that invest in real estate. I can name a few. Realty Income is a long-term play. They pay you consistent income every month on the shares that you have. So there are dividend stocks, which I could also go into. That's another segment. There's a lot of exciting things to do when you're investing in the stock market. There's a lot of different options, and you have to just kind of find your flavor of what you like to invest in and go off of that. And I can help you do that. And I really wanted to get onto a phone call to go through this with you, but I have to leave for the day. And I thought that maybe instead I would just send you this video, and this would be a good start. And now, just that I'm brainstorming, maybe I can actually do like I'm thinking maybe instead of because the schedules are all mixed up and everything, we all have our own schedules, maybe I can do like a video series and then put it on like YouTube or some platform where you can look at it anytime you want. I think that'll be more effective than sending out like 10-minute videos on WhatsApp or whatnot. So I'm gonna send this to you. And I think the first step is just download Yahoo Finance app and start getting familiar with the financial news. Wall Street Journal will be a good one, but they charge, and they're more on the macro level. They don't necessarily. They will report on public companies, obviously, and you can find a lot there. But I think Yahoo Finance is a lot more simplified. You can look up any company and you can see the value. And another thing I would say is that you should watch interviews of billionaire investors. So interviews of Warren Buffett would be a great place to start. And then from there you can go on. Also billionaire executives or owners or founders of companies like Bill Gates. I'm not really a fan of Mark Zuckerberg, honestly, but you can learn a lot from founders like Elon Musk. He founded Tesla and a few other companies, and he gives you a good insight into the future. There's another company called ARK Invest. I just started following them and seeing what they're doing. They're investing in a lot of newer companies. So you can find ARK Invest and follow their CEO. She's really smart. And then there's a world of knowledge out there, and I'll try to just give you tidbits of information to guide you down the right path. So I hope this video was helpful, and wishing you a lot of luck and a lot of mazal in finding the right way. And I'm looking forward to helping you in your path to becoming an investor. So I look forward, and we'll be in touch.